Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Meet Touchstone Essentials live training with Cindy Klement. So excited to have you here and to learn from the master, Cindy Klement. Cindy, why don't we advance the slide so I can brag about you just a little bit. Cindy, as you know, has a book out, and it's called Your Body's Environmental Chemical Burden. And you're going to want to get a hold of this, learn about it, read from it. It's an absolutely excellent book that's got a lot of awards. I was really excited to see all those awards that you've received for this book. But Cindy, she's done so much. As you can see, she's empowering audience to minimize exposure to toxins. She is an incredible speaker, author, nutritionist, herbalist, adjunct professor. She teaches doctors about nutrition, which is wonderful. And guess what? We get her tonight to teach us all about nutrition. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Cindy Klement. We're going to talk all things protein tonight, right? So we're excited to learn a little bit about protein. So Cindy, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you. And hello, everybody. It's always such a great pleasure of mine to share with you on these product education webinars. So thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight, as Craig mentioned, we are going to take a look at nutrition, including protein and some other nutrients as well, because what we want to do is gain an understanding of how much we need in our bodies and which sources are going to be best for us for building really very good health, vital health. So we'll begin with the protein. Protein is vital. It is the building block of all new cell growth in the body, and the length of the cell's life varies in our bodies. And so, for instance, a white blood cell, the life of that white blood cell is about 13 days or so. The skin on the top of your hand, let's say, lives for about 30 days. A red blood cell, on the other hand, has a lifespan of about 4 months. A liver is about 18 months, and the longest lived cell in our body's muscle, and that cell lives 40 years. So you can see that on a daily basis, every second of the day, as cells are dying, we need to replace them with nutrients. Now, when we talk about protein, amino acids are linked in a variety of different sequences to form thousands of different proteins in the body and our life. We have essential amino acids, which of course cannot be made by our body in sufficient amounts and must be supplied through the diet. There are also things called non-essential amino acids, and those are the amino acids that our body can make. Now, there's a third category called the conditionally essential amino acids, and that is when our body's need exceeds our body's ability to produce those amino acids. And why we need those amino acids, again, is they are the building blocks that create those proteins. And protein in our body is needed to build material for growth, repair, for our maintenance of tissue. Some of the proteins in our bodies act as enzymes or hormones. Some of the proteins regulate the fluid balance in our bodies. Some help with that acid pH balance in our bodies. And proteins can be transporters. They can help with antibody production. So our body needs this protein to help build our muscle, repair tissue, fight infection, and we need it on a daily basis. So how much protein do we need? It's a good question. There are guidelines, and there's a big range of them, but I first want to talk about the digestibility of protein. Of course, animal protein can be anywhere from 90 to 99% digestible, which means we can absorb the protein out of that. Plant protein is anywhere from 70 to 90%. But what we do with those plant proteins is we create what are called complementary proteins. So in other words, if we've got a pea protein and we add greens or grains or nuts or seeds. Now we've created something called a highly digestible and absorbed protein in our body. So we complement those proteins. And what we're doing then is we're creating some of those essential amino acids that are missing by combining those foods. So it's very easy to get all the protein you need if we are combining, and real good products do that for us. Now let's talk about those guidelines. How you figure out how much protein you need is you start with your body weight. And what you need to do is divide your body weight, or call it your ideal body weight. Let's work with our ideal body weight. Take that number, divide it by 2.2. What you're doing there is you're converting pounds to kilograms. And that's what we have to do. So take your ideal body weight, divide by 2.2, you've got kilograms. Now, multiply that answer by 0.8, and that gives you the number of grams per day. So for instance, if somebody weighs 150 pounds and we divide that by 2.2, that 150 pound person is 68 kilograms. And then when we multiply that by that 0.8, we find out that we need 54 grams of protein a day. Now, again, there's a range, and I'll talk about that. We've got long-term consumption of protein at 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. So in other words, if we did that calculation, that 150 divided by 2.68 kilograms. Now, if we multiply that instead of 0.8, but if we multiply it by 2, that would be 126 grams of protein. That is considered safe for healthy adults. So not to go over. So if you start at 150 pounds, you've got, okay, I've got to get 54, but certainly no more than 126, unless of course you have massive muscles and you're a weightlifter. There are all kinds of exceptions to this, but chronic high protein intake at over 126 grams for that 150 pound person can result in digestive problems, kidney problems, vascular abnormalities, and they really do recommend that we avoid going quite that high. Now, the second group of people that should avoid high protein content in their daily diet is if somebody has kidney disease. So you want to watch how much protein you're eating if you have problems with your kidneys, because having too much protein can cause a waste buildup in the blood, and then your kidneys may not be able to remove all that extra waste. So the more protein waste that needs to be removed, then the harder the kidneys need to work to get rid of it. And this can be stressful for your kidneys and cause them to wear out even faster. So people with kidney disease who aren't on dialysis, a diet lower in protein is recommended. So back to that, 150 pound person at about 54 grams per day. So again, if we've got chronic kidney disease, which is between stages 1 and 2, you got to stay at that 0.8. We got to stay at that 0.8. Body weight divided by 2.2 times 0.8. That's stages 1 and 2 for chronic kidney disease. And once your GFR, and I'm going to explain all this a little bit better, but hear me out. Once that GFR, which is a marker that shows the health of your kidneys, when your GFR starts to decline, it's better to get more of these plant-based proteins because they break down to less urea than those animal proteins do. So another great point for plant protein. Now, if that chronic kidney disease has now fallen to stages 3 to 5, and again, that's where that GFR is coming down, you have to restrict your protein intake even more by limiting it even more. So that would be for that same body weight, it would be for that 150 pound person, it would only be 40 grams of protein a day. So GFR, it stands for glomerular filtration rate. And it's a report card on your annual physical. If you've ever had your annual physical, they always check your kidney and your liver functioning. The GFR is an important number to watch. That's your report card. How well did I do this year? My diet, with my exercise, with my stress. I love my blood test on my annual physical because I look at it as my report card. When you look on there, you'll see when they check your kidney functioning, it's always there. It's called GFR. And what you want that number to be as high as possible. The range for healthy, normal kidney functioning is between 60 and 120. When you drop below 60, you get to kind of 55 to 20. That's when you're in kidney disease, and a 15 is kidney failure. So in other words, get the right amount of protein, get a plant protein, drink lots of water, and alkalize, because alkalization also helps with kidney functioning, which we're going to look at a little later on. Okay, so where am I here? Let's talk about, there we go. What happens if we don't get enough protein? We talked about the excesses, but what happens if we don't get enough? We don't want our protein intake to be too low. We don't want it to be too high, but even low can cause even further problems. So here's some of the symptoms of a protein deficiency. And the first one is constant cravings. Cannot get your cravings under control. Blood sugar imbalances, headaches are also another sign of a protein deficiency. Muscle, joint pain, muscle cramping, muscle soreness, protein. Thinning, brittle hair, loss of hair can be protein. Ridges in your fingernails and toenails, protein deficiency. Skin rashes, dry skin, feeling really weak or tired all the time. Or if you've cut yourself and it's even just a minor cut and you notice how slowly that wound is healing, that could be a sign of a protein deficiency, as well as depression and anxiety. So why plant protein? Why am I stressing this plant protein? Think about this. 20% of your body is made up of proteins, and the body doesn't store protein, so you need to get it on a daily basis. But pound for pound, plants supply more nutrients with fewer calories, more of the nutrients other than just protein, additional nutrients with less calories. They also have one thing that animal protein completely lacks, which is fiber. And the benefits to a plant-based diet include a lower risk of stroke, cancer, as well as having a lower body weight, lower cholesterol, and lower blood pressure. So plant protein definitely is the way to go. So, I just went over that, forgot to move the slide, but there you go. Why plant protein? Now, pea protein, of course, is one of those important proteins because it contains all 9 of those essential amino acids that your body can't create and has to get from food. So there, we start out a super organic protein with a good pea protein base. They add to that quinoa, which is high in protein. It's also gluten-free. It too has all 9 of those essential amino acids. It's also high in fiber, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, things like that. Bamboo is also a powerhouse of protein with a high level of fiber. And hemp protein powder, not only being high in protein, it also has those incredible amino acids that we need. So let's talk a little bit about those vitamins and things that plants have so very much of. There are, of course, 2 classifications of vitamins. One is a fat-soluble vitamin and one is water-soluble. The fat-soluble vitamins are what we store in our bodies. They're vitamin A, D, E, and K. So we store those. Everything else, all the other vitamins, we don't. They're water-soluble. They need to be replenished on a daily basis, several times during the day. For instance, B complex stays in your system for about 3 to 4 hours after you've eaten it, and then it's in the urine. So you have to replace these water-soluble vitamins throughout the day. So let's look at just one of the B vitamins just for fun, because we could look at all of them and take all night. But let's just give you an idea of what vitamin B1, which is thiamine, what does this tiny little vitamin do that we need in very small amounts? Well, first of all, thiamine converts the carbohydrates that we've eaten into a usable form of energy. Vitamin B1 or thiamine also, if we eat a lot of carbs, or we're very active, we're going to need more of that vitamin. We also need it if we eat a lot of dry, snacky foods, candy, drink soda, or alcohol, or things like that. It's really important that we get more of it, because a vitamin B1 deficiency, it's going to be more muscular weakness. It's going to be irritability, poor short-term memory, feeling confused. And what are the plant sources of vitamin B1? Grains, quinoa, legumes, peas, things like that, seeds, yeasts, and things, plants, lots of plants. So if we think about the RDA, which they say we only need 1.5 milligrams of thiamine a day, compare that to magnesium, where they recommend at least 400 milligrams a day. Why would such a small amount, 1.5 milligrams, be that important? Well, let me tell you why. This is an old study, but it was so profound in the nutrition world. It was done in 1964, and it was done by a group of researchers. With the main researcher was Dr. Brin, B-R-I-N, and he did this thiamine research just to find out why such a small amount of this nutrient would be so vital to our bodies. And what he found were there were 5 stages of deficiency of this vitamin, this tiny little amount of vitamin. In the first stage, the urine level dropped. Makes sense. You're not getting it into the body. In stage 2, there was an inactivation of key enzymes in the body. In the third stage, these subjects started experiencing insomnia, irritability, and nightmares. In the fourth stage of deficiency, this is where the deficiency disease of beriberi started to manifest. It was irregular heartbeat, nerve inflammation, and even vision loss. In the fifth stage is where it was almost permanent damage or death of B1 vitamin, enlarged heart, brain damage, nerve sheath degeneration. I mean, that's some pretty serious stuff. So what you need to understand when you look at what the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, or the DRI, which is the daily recommended intake, they only deal with stages 4 and 5 of the deficiency, of a deficiency. In other words, they're the bare minimum level of nutrients that prevent a deficiency disease in a healthy person. They don't deal with the first 3 stages of a deficiency disease. They don't deal with that mental and psychological state. They don't deal with people who are infected or who are suffering with diseases or taking medication. And certainly the RDA and the DRI do not deal with detoxification or the displacement of those environmental chemicals. And these days we know that to detoxify the body, we need higher levels of nutrients than we ever imagined. So, slide, there we go. Talking about dozens of plants that we need on in a daily basis, there are many of them in the super green juice. And this product can help to alkalize, which means to really assist those kidneys, energize and enhance our immune system. So take, for instance, with all the plants that are found in this particular product, let's look at chlorella, mushrooms, and spirulina. The essential nutrients in just those 3 plants alone, all 3 of them have all of the fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. They also have all of the B complex. They have vitamin C. They have calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, manganese, a whole slew of minerals. But what's really exciting is that this particular product also has 5 different types of enzymes that help unlock the nutrition from all of the food groups. So not only when we make up our shake with our organic, super organic protein, and we add in our super green juice, think of the power pack that you are getting. I just absolutely love it. I shake it up. I take it with me to babysit at 5 o'clock in the morning with my granddaughter. And it's just such a wonderful feeling to have something that digests so completely, so easily, no bloating. And I think I've mentioned before that I have tried dozens and dozens of protein powder. I have never had one yet where I didn't get a puffy tummy or a bloat. This is such an amazing product. I am really in love with this product. I can't say enough about that. All right, let's go on to Super Greens Plus D. Now, this is not just the probiotics and the vitamin D, but again, it's those enzymes that help to unlock the nutrients in these foods and allow our bodies to absorb them, digest them, and use all of these plants. So, for instance, amylase is going to help in the digestion of starches and the quinoa, the pea protein, all of that. The protease is a digestion of protein. The cellulase helps us to digest the plant fiber in these fruits and vegetables. The lactase, of course, is for milk, and the lipase is also in the digestion of fat. And we need our fat to digest our alpha lipoic acid or our omega-3 fatty acids. So these products are just, I can't say enough good things about them, in other words. So this is another one of my favorites, which is the Essentials 26 organic fruits and vegetables. Now, again, aside from the nutrients, I want to talk about the antioxidant properties that are found in these products. Remember that a free radical damages cells and causes illnesses and aging. And what they are is they are a molecule that has an unpaired electron. I wish I had a diagram to show you. They can be produced naturally in the body. However, our lifestyle factors can accelerate the production of these free radicals, which again are damaging cells, causing illnesses and aging. And some of the lifestyle factors can be stress, they can be exposure to toxic chemicals, they can be smoking, alcohol, different types of foods. So these antioxidants, what they do is they provide that missing electron. So something like resveratrol that's found in grapes, or carotenoids, which are found in sweet potatoes that help with eye health. On average, plant foods provide 64 times more antioxidant power than animal foods can. So again, back to those plants, they're so important. And also in Essentials, think about vitamin D. There was a comprehensive study done about 3 years ago that found that as much as 40% of the population has a measurable vitamin D deficiency, not just a small, but a very measurable. And why this is a problem is because vitamin D plays a critical role in cardiovascular function, in mood, in fertility, as well as in our immune function. Another plant that's in this particular product is the Acerola. Acerola contains an exorbitant amount of vitamin C. In fact, about 50 to 100 times greater than that of an orange or a lemon. And this fruit exhibits high antioxidant capacity and several biofunctional properties like anti-aging. So if we think about not just getting the protein, but getting, and not to say that animal products don't have the vitamins and minerals, but they certainly don't have the antioxidants that the plant family can. I mean, think about broccoli. There was a study published in the Journal of Cancer Prevention where scientists looked at people living in a particular area of China. And what they did is they measured the amount of pollutant found in the participants' journal. And then they assigned the one group, because they have to have their control group, they assigned the one group to drink a beverage made of broccoli. Afterward, the scientists found that the people who drank the broccoli beverage were able to get rid of substantially higher levels of environmental pollutants than those who did not. So, not only is broccoli rich in nutrients, it's helping us to detoxify the body, something again that animal products simply cannot do. Um, Lastly, having trouble with my slides advancing tonight, but there we go. Omega-3 fatty acids, they are important for the normal functioning of all tissue in the body, but they're best obtained through a plant-based diet, not fish oil supplements. If you think about what is in our oceans today, all of the runoff from the pesticides, all of the pollutants that are found there, fish can contain unsafe levels of contaminants, and fish has no fiber, right? So omegas, again, are used in the formation of the cell wall or the cell membrane, and they assist in improving oxygen intake in the body, circulation in the body. They help to reduce inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids promote healthy nerve functioning. They can slow our memory loss by keeping our brain healthy. They can reduce the aging of our skin, lower our blood sugar levels. And these omega fatty acids can even help in weight loss. And while most plants are low in fat, they do have the perfect amount to allow the ALA, the alpha lipoic acid, to convert to EPA and DHA. Now, ALA, the alpha lipoic acid, it's made inside the mitochondria. That's the powerhouse in our cells. And in there, what it does is it helps to turn helps enzymes turn nutrients into energy inside the cell. What's even more important is ALA has powerful antioxidant properties. Alpha lipoic acid, unlike fish oil, is both water and fat soluble, and that allows it to work in every cell and tissue in our body. They did a study where in healthy elderly subjects, ALA positively affected the LDL cholesterol more favorably than even the fish oils did. So I'm quite certain that you're going to agree with me that it's pretty evident that in order to maintain our health, we need as many plants in our diet as we can get. And in my opinion, what better way than to supplement our diet and our lifestyle with the organic superfoods that Touchstone Essential offers. And I talk about a better way to supplement our lifestyle, meaning I don't want to buy all of these number of foods and process them on a daily basis to get these nutrients. These products are absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad that I've been introduced to them. And I imagine that you are as well. So folks, that concludes tonight's presentation on product education. And I invite you to please join us on September 2nd. What we're going to do is have an in-depth look at the benefits of all of the plants in these products to give you the background, the history on the plants, why they've been selected for these products, their medicinal properties, their nutritive value. So it's going to be probably run a little bit longer than a half an hour next time, but I'm sure you won't want to miss it. So please join us then. And thanks for attending this evening. Good night.
Thank you, Cindy. Wonderful job once again. Looking forward to September 2nd. We are going to be together 3 times in September, right? Because of so many things going on. We were just 1 time in August, but we'll be together 3 times in September. So look on the website to find out the dates and the topics. But as she said, next time, September 2nd, we're going to be all about medicinal plants that Touchstone Essentials offers. And I'm excited about that. I think that's
really excited. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Thank you again, everybody, for attending tonight. Cindy, thank you once again. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you all on September 2nd. Take care. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Bye-bye.